Emotional control is real power, because the moment you lose control of your emotions, you hand control of yourself to something or someone else. Most people don't realize this. They think power comes from force, volume, or domination. But those are usually signs of weakness trying to look strong. The person who can stay calm when provoked, focused when distracted, and steady when pressured holds an advantage that can't be taken away easily. Emotions are natural. Feeling anger, frustration, fear, excitement, none of that is a flaw. The problem begins when emotions become the decision maker instead of the advisor. When anger decides, you say things you can't take back. When fear decides, you hesitate and miss opportunities. When excitement decides, you rush and overlook consequences. Emotional control doesn't mean killing emotion. It means placing it in the right position. You feel it, you acknowledge it, but you don't let it drive. Most conflicts escalate not because of the situation, but because of emotional reactions stacked on top of each other. One comment triggers irritation. Irritation turns into ego. Ego demands a response. A response turns into a fight. All of it could have ended at the first moment of restraint. The person who pauses breaks the chain. The person who controls their emotions controls the direction of the situation. When you master emotional control, you stop being predictable. People can no longer press a button and get a reaction on demand. This alone changes how others treat you. Manipulation only works on those who react automatically. Provocation only succeeds when someone takes the bait. Once you stop reacting impulsively, the power dynamic shifts. You are no longer easy to influence. In high-pressure environments, emotional control separates leaders from liabilities. When things go wrong, panic spreads fast. Most people amplify the chaos by reacting emotionally. The few who remain composed become anchors. They're calm, steady as others. Their decisions are clearer because they are not clouded by adrenaline or fear. Over time, people trust those who stay grounded under pressure, not those who explode when things get difficult. Emotional control also protects your energy. Emotional reactions are expensive. They drain focus, clarity, and momentum. A single emotional outburst can ruin an entire day of productivity. Holding on to resentment, replaying insults, obsessing over disrespectful of that consumes mental bandwidth that could be used to build, plan, and execute. When you control your emotions, you stop wasting energy on things that don't move you forward. There is a difference between being calm and being passive. Emotional control does not mean tolerating disrespect or ignoring problems. It means addressing issues without losing yourself in them. You can be firm without being hostile. You can be assertive without being aggressive. You can draw boundaries without drama. This kind of strength is harder to challenge because it doesn't rely on noise. Many people believe expressing every emotion immediately is honesty. In reality, it's often just a lack of discipline. Not every feeling deserves expression. Not every thought needs to be spoken. Maturity is knowing the difference. Emotional control is choosing the right time, place, and method for expression instead of dumping emotions wherever they surface. When you stop reacting emotionally, you gain time. Time to think. Time to observe. Time to choose the best response instead of the most satisfying one. That pause is powerful. In that pause, you can ask yourself whether a reaction helps or harms, whether it aligns with your long-term goals or just your short-term ego. Emotional control sharpens judgment. Strong emotions narrow perception. Anger focuses your mind on offense. Fear focuses it on escape. Desire focuses it on gratification. Control widens your perspective. You see more options. You consider consequences. You make decisions based on outcomes rather than impulses. People often confuse emotional intensity with passion. Passion without control burns out. Controlled passion builds something over time. Emotional control allows consistency. It allows you to show up even when motivation drops, even when things don't feel good. It keeps you moving forward regardless of mood. In relationships, emotional control prevents unnecessary damage. Words spoken in anger leave scars long after the emotion fades. Reactions fueled by insecurity create distance that takes years to repair. The ability to pause before responding can save relationships, reputations, and opportunities. Emotional control also builds self-respect. When you know you can handle yourself, you trust yourself more. You don't fear difficult conversations or stressful situations because you know you won't lose control. That confidence is quiet but deep. It comes from experience, not affirmation. Training emotional control is uncomfortable at first. Your body wants to react. Your ego wants to defend. Your pride wants to strike back. Every time you resist that urge, you strengthen restraint. Over time, what once felt difficult becomes natural. .com becomes your default, not your exception. This control gives you leverage in negotiation, conflict, and competition. While others rush to show emotion, you gather information. While others reveal their hand, you stay unreadable. Emotional discipline makes you harder to exploit and easier to trust. Emotional control does not mean suppressing emotions until they explode later. It means processing them privately, constructively, and intentionally. You reflect instead of react. You analyze instead of accuse. You adjust instead of self-destruct. When life hits hard, emotional control keeps you standing. Loss, failure, rejection, these moments test everyone. The difference is not who feels the pain, but who lets the pain define the next move. Control allows you to grieve without quitting, to be disappointed without becoming bitter, to be hurt without becoming reckless. This kind of power doesn't announce itself. It doesn't need validation. It shows up in consistency, in composure, in the ability to remain steady when everything else shakes. Emotional control is not flashy, but it is foundational. Without it, intelligence collapses under stress, skill fails under pressure, and potential never reaches execution. The person who controls their emotions controls their actions. The person who controls their actions controls their direction. The person who controls their direction controls their future.